That is better than most. Better than most.
Welcome to the CTX College Golf Powerhouse Series. I'm Jason Nall, and I'm happy to join you today. Shortly, we will be joined by John Maupin, the Director of Golf from Lee University. John's in his 13th season. He's a two-time Gulf South Conference Coach of the Year, both in 2018 and 2019. Coach Maupin, how are you doing today?
Hey, Jason, I'm doing great, man. I appreciate you having me on.
Hey, that's no problem. No problem. Very happy to be joined by Coach Maupin today, who has put together a heck of a golf program at Lee University. Thank you for getting on so quickly with us. I know you just got back from a tournament last night. So thanks a lot for the quick turnaround.
Yeah, no, I'm always happy to talk about college golf.
That's right. Me too. Tell me a little bit about how the season's going. I know it's been a little bit different with everything a little bit up in the air. Maybe let's say a lot different with the COVID landscape. Every sport is having to deal with it. How has it really directly affected college golf?
Well, I think it's a great time to be a golfer because it's one of the more low risk sports as far as exposure and things like that in terms of COVID. So, it's been a little different at the tournaments and in terms of some of the protocol, and temp check stations and things like that. But really with golf, being able to be outside and kind of naturally social distance, that's worked in our favor. But it's been a different semester. I know here at Lee, we've, us and cross country were the only two sports that were able to compete this fall, which is better than a lot of places. I know a lot of places weren't able to do, any sports, but yeah, we were just thankful to be able to be out there competing. We, each of our teams played in 3 tournaments this fall. And so again, it felt somewhat normal, all things considered.
So as far as recruiting goes, how has COVID affected the recruiting process for Lee University?
Well, that's been interesting too, and I, some of this is probably above my head, but Division II, thankfully, since I guess June, July, somewhere in there, we were kind of free to continue recruiting. So not off campus at first, but now we're a full go. We've been able to have visits on campus during that time, and we've been able to go off campus here as of, I guess it was either August or September. I think September 1. So we're glad that for us again that's been kind of normal. I know it hasn't been that way for all divisions, but schools still need to bring students in and things like that. So we're thankful we've still been able to showcase our product.
Definitely. So this is your first year as director of golf, kind of an elevated position now with having the support of a couple of coaches working with you, both with the men and the women's side. I've said before that to me that kind of shows that Lee is serious about the golf program and that the growth there is great. But how has it really changed your role, and how do you think it's benefited the team so far?
Yeah, well, and I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, what it allowed us to do was add a men's graduate assistant and a women's full-time assistant. And I think that, if you aren't involved with college golf or, have been a coach before in that capacity, I mean, it's just hard to understand all the things that go into running a great program. There's just, it's a lot more than just golf and practice. I mean, there's just, a lot of areas that require time and attention. And, I think the thing here is we always want to give our players, regardless of what division or anything else, we want to give them the best chance to succeed. And so I think being able to add a couple of, great people to the program that can help and give our players that much more attention, I think that's been the biggest thing. And so for me, it's just helped in allowing us to focus in on some more details and some also bigger picture projects within the program and have enough hands to take on everything.
Well, being able to have Evan Spence, who's a grad assistant and a player, and then bringing on Jessica Shepley for the ladies. Tell me about those two individuals and how they're doing and how it's been for the teams to have additional leadership out there.
Yeah, Evan's in a very unique position. I think a lot of people would be jealous of. He's getting to be a player coach this year, so we had it lined up for a while for him to be our graduate assistant when he graduated, which he did this past May. But of course, the way the spring ended, he ended up getting a year of eligibility back, and so the way all that came together, he was able to become the grad assistant, but also still compete and play. And so I know he's thankful to have the opportunity to try and end his career the right way as a player. Evan's been he's just a very responsible guy. He's excelled in the classroom, on the course, and so he's a guy that I think can handle both of those roles. And he's a guy that his teammates really respect. So they've been excited to have him, in a coaching role while also getting to still contribute to the team out on the course. And then, of course, Coach Shepley joined us as a full-time women's assistant this year. And, her background on the LPGA and with professional golf and having played at Tennessee, she's brought a great energy with her. I think she's going to make a fantastic head coach one day. She's just done a great job of connecting with the girls right away and, really helping us in terms of player development and just a lot of aspects with the program. So very thankful to have her on board.
Yes, it looks like Lee University has a great future and a great foundation that's been built over the 13 years that you've been there, going from NAIA to Division II, and now looking as a director of golf and bringing in top talent to help lead your teams. So let's jump into the boys' season. 3 top 5 finishes this fall. Finished up with a T4 at the University of North Georgia. Kind of the scoring leaders for the team would be Evan Spence and Beck Burnett. Run me through the fall season for the men and where you think the team stands in their progress and maybe what you think the ceiling is for the rest of this year.
Sure, yeah. I think it was a very productive fall for us. I think anytime in the fall you're just trying to create a lot of competition within your team. I think we did that. And we had some guys that had very good fall seasons. I think as a team, we were in contention at every tournament, which is a plus. We got to play some great tracks. And, again, you mentioned it, Beck and Evan had, good quality falls for us. I thought we got Oliver Lewis Perkins, one of our freshmen, he really stepped up for us as well and made a nice impact on the team. But, again, I think the experience we were able to gain is what's so helpful. We were able to learn some things that needed to improve as well. And so we're, in the midst of our player meetings and focusing on that, what they'll be focused on in the off season. So I think that, it was a great help for us. But, this men's team, it's a great combination of experience and youth. And, we have our sights set very high in the spring. I mean, we want to win championships. I think that's why these guys came here. And so that's certainly what we'll be aiming for. But I got a lot of work to do between now and then.
Well, that's great. Just a solid program on the men's side. 25 victories in your 12, now 13 seasons for the men's team. That's quite an accomplishment. On the women's side, we've got 3 top 3 finishes this fall, highlighted with a win at the Leanne Noble Memorial up in North Georgia. Finished up with your women's fall season this past weekend in Montevideo. How do you feel about the ladies' progress this year?
Yeah, I think we've seen some great signs of progress individually. It's a year where we have 3 freshmen that we'll, rely on heavily. And so to be able to have a fall season and get them out there, I think was really important. Obviously it was great to pick up a win this fall. I think it's always good to be able to look back and know you can come through in the, when the pressure's greatest. I thought we did a good job of putting ourselves in position at every tournament. I think we either had the lead going into the final round or we were within a shot or 2 at every tournament. So that's a big plus. I think that, working on our consistency a little bit, that got us a couple of times. I loved the way we responded to adversity. Our returning All-American Emily Felix, she got hurt in the practice round this last week, the one yesterday. And so we brought in a player last minute. I think it was very unorthodox, and I thought we handled that great in the first round. Unfortunately, the second round didn't go quite as well as we wanted it to. But I think there were definitely a lot of positives there. and also a lot of things that we can take from to learn and grow. I think on both programs, we're to the point where our expectations are very high. And so players, as they come in, have to learn to adjust to that and know that's a part of it. We've been able to be very consistent. Since we've moved NCAA Division II, our programs have finished ranked in the top 20, 25 in the country every season, with several of those being in the top 10. And so, it's a place that, we want to not only maintain that, but advance it. And so, I think we're adding players that can help us do that. But I think there's always a little bit of a learning curve at the beginning.
Definitely. Your facilities at Cleveland Country Club, you've got a very nice practice area, short game area, your own private range. How do you feel that your facilities stack up against your conference opponents and really against on a national level?
Yeah, I think certainly on a national level and within our conference, I think we're very fortunate. We've got a great relationship at Cleveland Country Club. I think that's evidenced by the fact that we've, at the end of this year, we'll have hosted the NCAA regionals twice there. And this is only our, fifth or sixth year, I guess, of full Division II membership. So I think that says a lot about it. And then, we put in a short game facility for our team out there about 5 years ago. And boy, that place is in fantastic shape. And, I think for our players, a lot of our practice revolves around short game, our team practices. And so, you go back there and there's really not a shot that you can't, create or practice or come up with. And so I think it's a big asset to our players in that regards, and certainly a great selling point for us as a university.
Well, I look at your roster, and you certainly do a good job, I would say, putting a fence around your own territory and being able to mine a lot of the talent from the Georgia, Tennessee area. But then you've also got an international and a national reach with the men's side, Carson Little from Oregon, Oliver Lewis Perkins from England, and then a couple of players from Thailand, Supchaya, and
hey, I'm gonna we call Iko and Yui. That's much easier, isn't it?
Thank goodness, Iko and Yui from Thailand.
That's right. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about how you were able to pull this this group of players together and really showcase Lee University and grab some talent from outside of the region.
Yeah, I think that we know we have a lot of great players right here in this area, certainly within Tennessee, and we've had a lot of success in Georgia. So, that's a focal point for us. But we want to find great players, period. So, and Lee being a private institution, there is no in-state or out-of-state tuition. And so we, if there's a good player out there that's a good fit for us, we're gonna stretch those boundaries a little bit. So we've been fortunate to have some connections that have connected us to some really good players overseas or out west, and we've taken advantage of a couple of those opportunities.
The season's been a little bit different. We talked about with COVID. I don't see a spring schedule up yet. Is it kind of playing it by ear right now? Are you looking to finalize that spring schedule pretty soon, or what's the process there?
So we just finalized ours probably within the last week or so. So ours will be coming out soon, and certainly I think some of these it could change if their school decides to not let them play or something like that in the spring. But I think most people are very hopeful that the spring will be back to full strength for college golf and colleges in general. And so I think we're planning that it'll be fairly normal. I mean, we've got our postseason dates lined up and all situated. And so, but as you know, these days things are week to week, day to day. So we'll be flexible if we need to be, but hoping for a normal spring.
So you do expect all the spring championships this year to commence at least as planned at this point. There's been really no talk within your conference about further restrictions.
No, I think at this point they're definitely trying to make plans to compete and have postseason and do that for the players. So yeah, we're very optimistic.
Well, I'll wrap up with you. Kind of ask you here at College Tour X. We're working to offer amateur championships for golfers outside of their team schedule, and just offer more opportunities for the players to stay sharp and compete. Do you see a value in playing in amateur championships outside of the team season for your players?
Oh, I mean, I think it's one of the most important things. So, and then you look at a year like this year, and maybe this will be the thing moving forward. They have such a long winter break, that and some of them, depending on how they played in the season, maybe didn't get in as many tournaments as some of the others. And so I think it's just crucial. We're having player meetings right now with ours, and that's certainly one of the topics is, hey, what events are you considering playing in in your off time? So.
Well, we certainly appreciate you taking the time to talk with us and be a part of our CTX College Golf Powerhouse Series. Excited about the future for Lee University. Very proud of the past for Lee University. You've done a great job there with that program, Coach Maupin, and just thanks so much for being with us today.
Hey, I'm happy to be here, Jason. Best of luck with the tour. Look forward to seeing it take off.
All right. Good deal, man. Good deal. Best of luck with your spring season.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We were very proud to have Lee University on the call with us. John Maupin's built a great program there, taking the program from NAIA to Division II in his 13 years, and played for championships at both levels. So, again, stay tuned and join us each week for our CTX College Golf Powerhouse